Hello friends, welcome to ELS English Literature Studies with Core Harpreet. Today I will discuss Henry Fielding's Joseph Andrews as a picaresque novel. So let's get started. Henry Fielding, time period is 1707 to 1754. Fielding is regarded as one of the most well-known novelists of 18th century, and Joseph Andrews is his first novel published in 1742 as a parody of novel Pamela. Pamela, which was written by Samuel Richardson. Henry Fielding is the first writer in English after Chaucer and Shakespeare who followed the whole sweep of English society. The original title of the novel is Joseph Andrews, or The History of Adventures of Joseph Andrews and of his friend Mr. Abraham Adams. Joseph Andrews is divided into 4 books. Book 1 is divided into 18 chapters, book 2 into 17 chapters, then book 3 13 chapters, and book 4 is divided into 16 chapters. Before we discuss what constitutes the picaresque elements in Fielding's Joseph Andrews, it will be best to know the derivative meaning of the word picaresque. The English word picaresque is derived from the Spanish word Picaro, which means a rug. As we talk about Joseph Andrews as a fiction, the picaresque means a type of novel which deals with adventures and encounters on the roadside, in the course of which the hero meets all types of people, whether they are good, bad, or indifferent. The first known novel in this style is Lazarillo de Tormes, supposed to be written by Mendoza, an irrelevant work about a poor boy who works for a series of masters of dubious characters, And the novel is supposed to be written by Mendoza. In Spanish literature, this picaresque tradition was carried forward by the great Spanish novelist Cervantes in his epoch-making novel Don Quixote. And this Spanish pattern of fiction was imitated both in England and in France. The 18th century English fiction is deeply influenced by picaresque tradition. This means that the greatest 18th century novelists like Fielding, Richardson, and Smollett are all more or less influenced by this kind of fiction. Talking about the plot of a picaresque novel. The plot of a picaresque novel opens itself in a free and easy manner over a large space. And the characters depicted in such types of novels are lacking in heroic qualities. They are usually rugs, vagabonds, and persons on whom morality sits loose. Joseph Andrews can be considered as classic among picaresque stories, as it has a loose plot. The plot is not able to hold the subject matter together in an organized way. It is held together by not only a story, but certain themes also. And the journey of Joseph and Adams from London to the Bube estate is the main part of this story, In between, the story is held up when there is the description of a long story which is not connected with the novel, and this was the technique used by the picaresque writers. Even the hero of such novel is not sufficiently heroic, and the fact is that the characters in such novel are always flat and not round. Naturally, there is no room for psychology in such novels, And the important features of picaresque novels should be kept in mind carefully. Firstly, the reader must be prepared for many surprises as we read in Joseph Andrews. Talking about Joseph Andrews, in Joseph Andrews, the hero meets with many adventures and situations of which there is not any anticipation in the beginning. Such surprises keep the interest of the story, but at the same time, we must remember one thing, that none of these surprises awaken any sense of mystery, such as we find in a modern detective novel. Joseph Andrews is the picaresque novel of the road written in the manner of Don Quixote, and Fielding relates many surprising adventures which Joseph meets on the roadside. And these adventures and encounters, as Fielding suggests, are such that no person can believe them to be true. unless he has actual experience of traveling in a stagecoach in the 18th century. This was because of uneasy access to transportation. There were highwaymen and robbers who robbed and beat people. People died because of hunger. Crimes flourished. Fielding here describes a scene where Joseph is robbed, beaten, and left naked. Through the experiences of the hero, the writer satirizes the evils and vices of the society in the narrative. And the entire story of Joseph Andrews, we can say, it is full of such untoward events and unfortunate activities. And friends, if you want all this explanation in notes form, then you can click on the link that will be given in the description box, right? Your email ID will be given. You can mail on that link, email ID, right? I was talking about Joseph Andrews, which is full of unfortunate activities, right? And as the purpose of the picaresque novel is always to satirize the society. Joseph Andrews, this particular novel satirizes the prevailing social conditions of Fielding's time, right? There are people who are hypocrites and they cheat others. Fielding has presented women's contradictions and weaknesses also. Lady Booby and Mrs. Slipslop both are great pretenders. They try to seduce Joseph and on the other hand pretended to be good also. Their hypocrisy and pretentious nature are satirized by the novelist. There is a satire on arrogant people who use their power in vain. Fielding describes the power of innkeeper or the greater power of squires and judges. And the greatest star is there in the passage where Joseph is beaten and left naked by the robbers. As I already told you, he is refused to enter the coach. Nobody is ready to offer him clothes. And the greater irony lies in the scene where a beggar-like man helps Joseph by giving his coat to him. And the picaresque side of the novel is very entertaining. Joseph Andrews passes through the experiences which are of picaresque style. Fielding has combined here realism with genuine concern for morality. Thus, the role of picaresque in Joseph Andrews becomes conspicuous at the beginning of the middle, or we can say at the end of the exposition of the novel. So friends, this is all about today's topic, and for more notes or for more explanation, you can check my description box. Thanks a lot for watching.